In 2024, beneath the ancient streets of Rome, a discovery shattered the timeline of human history. At Sapienza University, a team of geneticists analyzing prehistoric remains from caves and burial sites across Italy uncovered something that defied every textbook. They expected to confirm what everyone already believed, that Italy's people were descendants of European hunter-gatherers, Neolithic farmers, and Bronze Age tribes from the steppes. But inside those ancient genomes, the data told a different story. Hidden between the familiar lineages were fragments of DNA that didn't belong to any known human population. Some sequences diverged more than 55,000 years ago, long before Homo sapiens were supposed to have reached Europe. Others matched no one on Earth. Not Neanderthals, not Denisovans. Something else. An unknown branch of humanity that once walked the Italian peninsula, vanished, and somehow still lives within modern blood. The same impossible markers appeared in soil samples from Grotta Pagliacci in southern Italy, and cave sediments from Sardinia, each carrying traces of a hybrid population that shouldn't exist. These people lived side by side with early Homo sapiens long after other archaic humans had gone extinct, an echo of prehistory hiding beneath one of the world's oldest civilizations. It's like finding a ghost civilization beneath Rome, one researcher said. They left no temples, no statues, no words, only DNA. Before there was an empire, before there were kings or myths, something ancient walked this land, and its blood still flows quietly through millions of living descendants. I'm on a road to get 2,000 subscribers. Please subscribe. Italy, the cradle of empires, the heart of art, faith, and reason. But long before Rome, before Greece, even before the word civilization, this land was already alive with people whose blood would shape all that followed. When scientists sequenced genomes from across the peninsula, from the icy Alps to the volcanic fields of Campania, they found layers of ancestry like geological strata. Each one told a story of migration, contact, and survival. In the north, DNA from ancient caves near Verona revealed clear ties to Cro-Magnon hunters who painted in France's caves. But deeper in the genome were even older signals, fragments connecting them to Ice Age refugees in the Balkans and beyond. These early Italians didn't just survive the glacial age, they thrived within it. In the center, early Neolithic farmers carried unexpected genetic fingerprints. Buried within their DNA were markers from the Levant and North Africa, proof that 10,000 years before the Egyptian pyramids, the Mediterranean was already a living highway of trade, travel, and blood. These weren't isolated tribes. They were the first sailors, crossing waters in reed boats, bringing seeds, tools, and genes to the shores of Italy. But the greatest mystery lay in the south. In Puglia, Calabria, and Sicily, scientists discovered the signature of a population long erased from history, a coastal people genetically closer to the Etruscans of North Africa and the Natufians of the Middle East than to any Europeans. Their presence predates agriculture, predates the Neolithic. They were here when mammoths still roamed the plains. Each genetic layer was a tide, civilizations rising and receding like the sea itself. To the naked eye, Italy is one land. To the genome, it's a tapestry. Africa, Asia, and Europe, woven together into something new. Every Italian carries 3 continents in their blood, said Dr. Carlotta Ghezzi, one of the lead researchers. We're not the descendants of one people. We are the memory of all of them. The DNA makes one thing clear. Italy wasn't Europe's border. It was humanity's bridge, the place where the ancient world first met itself. Before Rome rose from the 7 hills, another people ruled the heart of Italy, the Etruscans. They built vast cities, engineered roads, and wrote in a language no one could read. To historians, they were an enigma, a civilization without a clear beginning. For centuries, scholars argued, were the Etruscans born from Italy's soil, or had they come from across the sea, from ancient Anatolia? But when scientists sequenced DNA from Etruscan tombs in Tuscany, Umbria, and Lazio, the answer stunned them. The Etruscans weren't migrants or natives. They were both, a fusion of lineages that should never have met. Their genetic code revealed a trinity of ancestry: Neolithic Italians, Bronze Age Anatolians, and a mysterious third lineage that exists nowhere else in Europe. This third signal matched fragments found in Sardinia and the Aegean, hinting at a maritime civilization older than the Greeks. An ancient seafaring culture that once spanned the Mediterranean before vanishing beneath the waves of history. It explained everything: their art, their religion, their obsession with the stars. The Etruscans weren't imitators of the East. They were the descendants of the people who taught the East its first myths. Their temple blueprints mirrored those of Minoan Crete. Their bronze work bore the precision of lost Aegean masters, and their sacred texts, though still untranslated, carry echoes of pre-Indo-European language families long extinct. The Romans absorbed them, but never erased them. When Rome conquered Etruria, it inherited its symbols: the fasces, the arch, the toga, even the word person. And buried beneath Rome's marble and power, the Etruscan genome lived on. The Etruscans weren't conquered, one archaeogeneticist said. They were remembered, in language, in stone, and in blood. Their civilization may have vanished from sight, but its code still runs silently through millions of Italians today. The heartbeat of a forgotten world. High in the Alps, where ice never melts, and mountains remember what history forgets, science uncovered one of humanity's oldest secrets. It began with Ötzi the Iceman, a man frozen in time for over 5,000 years. When his DNA was first sequenced, researchers expected a typical Neolithic European profile. But what they found was stranger. Buried within Ötzi's genome were archaic sequences that didn't match anyone living, fragments of genes older than the Neanderthals themselves. In 2024, new excavations across the Tyrolean Alps and northern Italy revealed more remains: hunters, herders, and wanderers who lived in isolation, while the rest of Europe froze beneath glacial ice. Their genomes carried the same genetic signatures: cold resistance alleles, enhanced bone density, and powerful mitochondrial adaptations that allowed survival at high altitudes and freezing temperatures. These weren't mutations of convenience. They were inheritances from an unknown human population that had survived somewhere in the southern alpine refuges during the last ice age. While the rest of Europe's ancient lineages were erased by climate and conquest, these mountain survivors endured, evolving in silence, their DNA protected by stone and snow. When scientists compared these genomes to those of modern northern Italians, faint traces still remained, invisible in appearance but unmistakable in the blood. Genes linked to oxygen processing, endurance, and even emotional regulation under environmental stress. It was as if Italy's mountains had become an evolutionary laboratory, a stronghold where the oldest traits of humanity refused to die.
The Alps weren't barriers, said Dr. Lorenzo Alberti of the European Genomic Institute. They were sanctuaries. While the rest of the world was forced to start over, Italy never had to.
I'm on a road to get 2,000 subscribers. Please subscribe. Every strand of DNA from those frozen bodies told the same story: life clinging to its spark through the coldest chapter of the human journey. And when the ice finally receded, those survivors came down from the mountains, carrying in their blood the memory of every winter humanity had ever endured.